Hi. Gonna be doing a reading for the collective. I won't be on here long, but my other deck successfully came in from Intuitive Kev. I ordered the wrong deck, um, the tarot deck, which I actually fancy. It's pretty lovely. And he already had sent it out before he could read my message. But when he did get around to reading my message, he said, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll go ahead and send you the one that you meant to purchase," which was this Oracle deck, which came in today. So we're going to be using both. And he let me keep the tarot deck. He didn't have me pay any more money for it, so I appreciated that. If y'all want to see the flip throughs, it is already uploaded to both of my YouTube channels. If you don't know my account information, excuse these ashy hands, honey. But if you don't know my account information, you could just click the link in my bio. Earth angels could be very significant. Seeing angel numbers for sure could be very significant. This is called The Eagles by Earth Songs. Alright, this is a Native American flute. So let's go ahead and see what the message is here. I had already cleansed these decks when I first got them. Ooh, the Oracle cards just feel so beautiful when you shuffle them. It kind of feels different than the other one for some reason. But I'm pretty sure they're the same. Alright. Somebody tried to bag them a successful, sexy, beautiful woman or male, and they didn't deserve this type of person. I seen thief coming out with, here it is again, coming out with single, sexy, and successful. Okay, maybe someone could have tried to steal something from you, your joy, your happiness, your vitality. For others of you, somebody tried to destiny swap almost. Like they knew that you weren't for them, but they wanted to have you that bad. They was like, you know what, I'm gonna put on this false mask because this single, sexy, and successful woman or energy, I just gotta have them. Even though I know I won't never amount to who they need me to be, I want them that bad. To the point to where they may have even caused you some type of emotional pain. And I'm also being called to let you know to not take things so personally, because if people knew better, they would do better, right? If people were as lovely as you, they would be as lovely as you. But sadly, there's people in the world who's not as beautiful as you inside and out. So some of these people, they chose selfishness, even if it meant hurting you, even if it meant not living up to who you needed them to be. See, they seen you as someone that was a rising star. They seen that you have potential. Some of these people, we could be talking about family members, friends, ex-lovers. Some of these people knew that they did not mean well. Seven of Swords. Some of y'all were literally sleeping with the enemy, feeling like this was your divine counterpart. Feeling like, yes, I'm going to have this family. We're going to live a life of abundance. We're going to be happy. But this person knew that that wasn't the case, because they already had hella karma that they needed to pay off. For some of these people, they could have been literal thieves. Robbing people, stealing people's youth, money, valuables. They probably was even looking at you as a lick. Having somebody as lovely as you on their arms in their life, they could not pass that opportunity up. Now I'm seeing false narrative. For some of you guys, it literally was your money they wanted. So it comes with a little guidebook. It's in paper form. So we're going to go ahead and see what false narrative means from Intuitive Kev's guidebook. Because we can have our own thoughts of what it may be, right? But let's just go ahead and look here and see. This is card number 89. Oh, look, see, false narrative is lies, slander, defamation. I'm getting defamation of character. See, some of these people tried to ruin your reputation, and it probably wasn't even towards the public eye. For a lot of you guys, it was towards the public eye. You was dealing with very narcissistic people. But for others of you, they were lying to themselves to lie to you. They were trying to make it seem like you were the problem, you were the issue. And take this message how it resonates. Past, present, future energy could be very significant. So this person lied. They even promoted slander on your name, as if you wasn't all that in a bag of chips, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, etc. They created this false narrative of you. Maybe they even started believing it or had other people believing it. Maybe they could have tried to create a false narrative of themselves, lying to you about things, maybe slandering other people so they could look better. You got to take how it resonates, because if it's family, then it may be different messages. If it's lovers, it may be different messages, you know? So you'll just have to take it how it resonates. But regardless, I'm getting, you won't break my soul. These people, they could not steal from you like they thought they could. See, this was only going to be a lesson in your life and a lesson in theirs, because now they paying off karma. But the lesson in your life, it has brought forth wisdom, you know? So no matter what you go through, no matter who tries to steal from you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, vitality, whatever, no matter who tries to throw slander on your name or lie to you or lie to other people about you, regardless, you can never hinder a person who is truly an ethereal soul, chosen one energy. They really thought they was going to get away with bagging somebody as beautiful as you, successful as you. But it only caught up with them. See, y'all deserve to be in a relationship with a boss. You deserve this. You don't deserve to be in a relationship with a thief, with somebody who's creating false narratives, with somebody who's very low vibrational. You're single, sexy, and successful. Own it, honey. Don't allow the things that you've been through to make you forget that. The marriages you guys were in, or when you were a kid, the marriages that you seen or did not see, the families that you had, the vision that you had of how your family would be and how a family that you create would be. But don't worry, you will still get this. God said, no, I promise you this. This is what you're going to get. It's just God has blessed you all with free will. So God lets you do what you do. But at the end of the day, it comes with lessons, valuable lessons, which will bring forth wisdom. I'm telling you. So although some things you may have gotten bamboozled in, or some things may have hurt, it's always a bigger picture, bigger meaning. All right, look. Change. Yes, honey. Change. Welcome to the team, honey. Thank you. Wow. We got Intuitive Kev coming out here. Shout out to him. So some of y'all, you could have gotten readings on this person. Maybe you could have dealt with someone who, maybe you're very intuitive, or you connected with someone that was intuitive, that was telling you the things that you needed to hear when it came to this connection. Maybe it gave you a little bit more clarity. Because maybe some of y'all didn't have the best community, right? You probably feel more connected to people who not even blood related to you, or people who you passed by on social media who went through similar things as you. But I feel like I'm getting community faith. But I just feel like you have to really have like a lot of faith. Like for sure. And then I'm seeing rich guy. Some of y'all probably pray for a rich guy. Be mindful, it's a collective, so we all getting different messages individually. For some of you guys, Well, for all of you guys, you will have to take the messages how it resonates. Okay, once again, it could be confirming things that has already happened, things that are currently happening, or future energy, things that have not yet happened. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the team, honey. Thank you guys for the likes. Little did you know your faith is your abundance. See, some people think it's money. Some people think it's like things that it's not, really. Good afternoon, honey. But your faith is the abundance, because when you have, say if you have faith in all these different things, you see where I'm going with this, right? So say if you have faith, like you did the work when it comes to money, you detached from it, you see it in a certain way that you've never seen it before, right? You're not obsessed with it coming in. You care less if you become wealthy in this lifetime. Like if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't, right? But having faith that regardless, I'll be okay. Regardless, I'm gonna be wealthy. That's literally your abundance. Or regardless, I'm gonna be healthy. Regardless of what everything else looks like. Like I'm telling you. So your faith is your abundance, right? And who you are within is what's gonna really mold these things, right? It's really, what I'm trying to say is, it's going to, I don't even know how to say it in words. Oh my gosh. But who you are within, right? I remember this Christian lady told me, do you know how you're supposed to get to heaven? And child, I'm not religious, so I was just looking at her like, girl. But I was like, being a good person or something, I said, and she was like, nope, you don't have to be a good person. You just ask for forgiveness. And see, that's why nobody changing in the world, because y'all steady making these people feel like they still gonna go to heaven. Like, so what I'm saying is, it does matter about who you are within. If you a shitty person, baby, you're gonna have a shitty life. I'm trying to tell you. So this is going to be promised to you even more because of who you are within, right? Look, house, who you are within. This could be figuratively, literally, right? But with what I'm saying, we're going to go ahead and hit that with figuratively. But you're going to get that home. You're going to get that commitment. But I feel like all those things aren't as important as the relationship you have with yourself. Because then you're able to, there will be no limits to what you can do when it comes to love, when it comes to raising kids of your own, and the list goes on. So it's extremely important and a blessing to the world to really build this relationship with yourself. And then maybe that's what they mean by you'll attract it into your life, because of course if you operate in a certain energy, and I ain't talking about still being capable of people pleasing or being in codependent energy, no. I'm talking about cutting all that out, because when you do, you're going to see straight through anybody who's operating in that energy. But I feel like this message was all over the place because I'm trying to hit different key points. But as I said before, faith is your abundance. But what can really help all these things not materialize but become promised to you is who you are within. And I feel like for those of you who really can resonate with this message, nothing you go through will ever change who you are spiritually or soul-wise, because you naturally have an ethereal soul. So no matter who tries to steal the smile off your face, the money from your accounts, no matter who tries to throw slander or defamation of character on your life or name, it will never change your true destiny. God said this is a person who will have a life filled with success. Now, what it looks like to get to that point, it may be trials, tribulations, falling on your face, bumping your head, lesson after lesson after lesson, whatever the case may be. Nobody said it was going to be perfect. Nobody said it was going to be easy, right? But the thing that counts is that when you adopt or when you have kids of your own, they won't have to go through all that. Because you didn't already broke the generational curses. You didn't already, been through the worst. You know what I'm saying? And your child or the adopted child that you'll be spending your life with, although they'll be incarnated in the same world you're in, I feel like they'll be living it differently. They can go through the same things that you went through as well, but I feel like still it will be lived through differently, because when you were a kid and you needed your parent or guardian to be there for you, but instead they didn't have emotional availability, they probably gave you whoopings, you probably got bullied. You know, it was times when your inner child just yearned for someone to see them, hear them, understand them. So I feel like, yeah, we'll be in the same earthly plane, but you make the world a better place. You know what I'm saying? I know some of y'all wish there was a you around when you were a kid. But the great thing is your kid won't have to be the one that's hoping and yearning for that. Now, please, let's make that a for sure thing by not traumatizing our kids. Because sometimes you feel like you're not going to be like your parents and you turn out to be completely like them. It happens to a lot of people, right? But I honestly feel like it's something different about this collective. But we all have free will. That's the thing, you know? So you just can't let these 3D plane challenges or problems be bigger than what's spiritually going on. And for a lot of you guys, I feel like it won't happen. I feel like that's why you're here anyway. Because regardless of what you go through, it just won't happen. So maybe you're the example for everybody else, the teachers and the students for everyone else, right? But it all makes sense in the end. Karma, cause and effect. Yep. A lot of you guys could be getting good karma because you're the divine femme, the divine masculine, and you're attracting this person, this partner. Some of you guys could be having health concerns, like maybe you're really concerned about your health. You gotta leave things in God's hand, things that are like seeming to be out of your control. You gotta leave it in God's hands. I told y'all, your faith is your abundance. All right, positive thinking can go a long way. And a shift of perspective can also go a long way. It keeps you from losing your mind, you know? Like, say if you did come into like a health scare, like you connected with someone romantically and they gave you herpes or something. Don't think, what did I do so bad that I got this type of karma? Like, I'm telling you, that's why I be telling people sometimes we give ourselves karma because we have free will, like, you know? So this is just teaching you lessons, which is going to bring forth wisdom. Therefore, you're going to be able to pass it down generations after generations. See, back in the day, the primordial times, maybe a lot of things that we needed in today's time wasn't left for us, but things are starting to come out of the woodworks, right? People are starting to find out about these herbal remedies that's been lost. Like a lot of things, right? The truth is starting to be revealed. So regardless what's done in the dark will come to the light. But for your own generations, maybe create you a grimoire. Create you certain things to leave behind for your family. You know? So it can be a little bit more easier for them to maneuver. Now, I say let them do what they want to do. If some of y'all are into voodoo, hoodoo, religion, spirituality, whatever the case may be, I say just let a child be a child, right? Children don't really be worried about all that belief shit. You know, they just be being kids. They be believing in Santa Claus and stuff. So just let your kid be a kid. Now, you can do what you want to do. It's your child. But I know for sure when I have kids, I'm not going to raise them up on what I feel is right, because who am I to say that what I'm saying is right, you know? Because I didn't get a chance to grow up and believe in what I wanted to believe in. I had to become religious. So that's what I believed in. But it caused me so much like confusion and chaos once I found out about spirituality. But I realized that I was the only one that caused myself that, because I told myself that religion was basically a lie. I ain't probably have to do that, because it just caused more chaos in my mind, and anger, etc. So, I mean, regardless of what you do, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you what not to do. Let me just leave it at that. Do what the hell you want to do here. Because I feel like regardless, destiny is destiny. Fate is fate, This is something that's inevitable, regardless of what people believe in, what they go through in their lives. But I feel like a lot of you guys are going to want to do different for your kids. Which, psychologically, that's what happens anyway. When you get raised up a certain way, that's strict, that's tradition, you probably want to go the rebellious way instead of raising your kids the non-traditional way. It's just the psychological aspects of stuff. But what I would say is to not put fear or restrictions on a child. That's better. Whatever they dibble and dabble into, it's what they do, because regardless, children are pure, they're innocent. You only become the opposite when you've been fed certain things or when you act in a certain energy yourself. So I feel like even though kids can be misled, misguided, they still have their own mind and soul, So don't get discouraged. Don't ever feel bad. Just let you be you. Let your kid be them. Let everybody in the world be them and do them. All right? Then I seen bliss. Yeah, do whatever makes you happy. What is this flying monkey energy? Oh my gosh. Card 68. Opposition assistant. Foe. Well, when I think of foe, I think of friend or foe. And then it said opposition assistant. For this flying monkey energy. And then behind that is moving on. Yeah. What is the message here? I know we started going into other stuff. But yeah. If you don't plan on sticking around for this whole message, it will be uploaded to YouTube. YouTube link is in my bio. But yeah, we was talking about this single, sexy, and successful individual who may have had things stolen from them. People trying to come in and portray a certain image so that they could bag you and have you on their arm or whatever the case may be. Like they deserve to be with you or something. I'm telling you, it's never going to happen. Eventually, you're going to catch on. Eventually, the lies is going to catch up to people. And I feel like it's naturally going to happen because you're the divine feminine or masculine. Like, nothing is going to go over your head. Like, when you're experiencing and you're inexperienced, then, of course, you may become bamboozled. You may get tricked. You may get whatever, right? But eventually, you will see the truth, like, regardless. Look, high honor. The military could be significant, or these very high occupation positions, where people are looked at and respected and stuff. This can even be spiritually. Some of you guys are high ranked spiritually, which makes sense. You're a chosen one. But I don't know if you're actually believing this or living in this energy. Maybe you've been projected on. We got Ice King coming out. Let's see what this means. Which I feel like it has something to do with money or materialistic stuff. But let's just see what Intuitive Kev thinks. So the Ice King is, King of Swords energy. Crazy. So this is like the King of Swords, which is an intelligent individual. So some of you guys may have stepped into this King of Swords energy. Or maybe you could have dealt with somebody who was pretty head over heart. Yeah. That's why I try not to project on people. I try to make sure I say, hey, this is my belief. It don't have to be a fact in your life, okay? Then we got the mature woman, which is just a woman up in age or mentally, right? Some of you guys could have received a message, or you will be receiving some type of message. Confirm this message. Let's see what the message is talking about. 7. A letter, a notification, or news. So some of y'all could be getting a letter. And this could be in the form of good karma. Like some of y'all, you probably gonna have a check coming. That's a form of good karma. Maybe that package gonna come in when you least expect it. All right, it can really be many, many things. Maybe you're gonna receive some type of message, some type of letter that really brings forth like a smile on your face or something. Okay, a message of good karma. Now, for other people, they probably gonna receive a message that don't really sound too good. Like, oh, y'all moving on from them, or whatever the case may be. But we ain't talking about them. We don't really care. This message is for you and about you. So everything is gonna be getting better, especially because you're a good person, especially because it's destined to be that way. Divinity, your divine energy. Of course, everything is gonna work out for you. You just gotta believe it, because believing actually does bring you a long way. You can believe in something that's not even facts or real, and it can really manifest in your life, you know? That's why I like how I created the saying, anything that's negative is false, right? What's this? Endings. Some of you guys are experiencing an ending, right? Whether it was the end of a relationship, ending of a chapter in your life, whatever it is. But do not forget that endings bring new beginnings. Okay, some of you guys are healers and rising stars. Remember I told you? Some of y'all are really concerned if your community is keeping you from reaching your fullest potential, maybe. But I feel like regardless, you'll get there. When it's time, like in divine timing and perfect timing, you will get there for sure. Somebody could be biting their nails, which is a sign of like anxiety or something. Let's confirm, because all of them came out together, so I was trying to read them together. What's this community concern, rising star? Ooh, some of y'all's community is concerned that y'all are gonna be rising on up and leaving them behind. Now, some of y'all, you the rising star that's kind of concerned when it comes to maybe a community situation. But once again, you got to stop doing all that worrying stuff. That ain't really doing nothing for you. Because whatever going to happen is going to happen. And whatever is in your control, then co-create with the universe and create your life how you want it to be. But all that worrying and stuff, like, come on now, you the earth angel. Some things you just got to move on. Let go. Shift your perspective or something. Like, at least make it easy for yourself. Yeah, see, you causing yourself to be mentally and emotionally unstable. Maybe it was even the community of people you had around you that was causing you to be in this energy, because half of them was in that energy. So it's just contagious ass energy of low vibrations being projected. Look, enamor. Let me see what this say. Filled with love and or admiration. You know, when I was thinking of enamor, I was thinking of, I forgot, but this is filled with love and admiration. I'm telling you, you operating in a divine space. You are a divine being. Life is supposed to be successful for you. But you can't be scared of success. That means you can't be scared to leave people behind who literally is interfering with this. You can't be scared to start putting in certain actions or ideas towards becoming successful, whether it's having to be in the public eye, whether it's having to actually do work that can probably bring forth you needing to get some sleep. But sometimes you just gotta risk it and take a chance, because sometimes it's not as hard as you think, or it's complicated. It really be us making things complicated with our minds that we have, which I feel like it's only a certain way because of your experiences. That's why I like to say deprogram to reprogram, heal the inner child, and do the shadow work. Sometimes you may not be in the best energy to do these things, but when you take the time out and actually add this to your daily life, right? Because I'm sure out of 24 hours in a day, I'm sure you can do at least 30 minutes or something. And it don't even have to be 30 minutes meditation. It could be 10 minutes meditation, 10 minutes journaling, 10 minutes doing this type of form of healing. Like, you don't have to overexert, you know what I'm saying? Because you probably just going to wear yourself out. And next thing you know, you're a shadow work journal collecting dust. So just make it easier for yourself. But at the same time, try to be productive when it comes to that, because it's really important, right? The relationship you have with yourself, therefore the relationship you have with others, including your own seeds, right? Your kids or ones you're going to adopt, whatever the case may be. Really important. Going outside to get some of that sunny D, honey, that vitamin D. Really going to help. Getting out into nature, it helps. It's very healing. I remember I hugged a tree. That felt really nice. Felt really nice. It felt even more, I don't know, than an actual person trying to give you a hug. It was really, like, nice. I need to hug a tree again. Hell, I'll be over here. For some reason, I don't know if it's because of the people that I was around or what, but all of a sudden I started caring about the tree having mold on it or something. Like, child, just hug a tree. It will heal you. You're a healer. Who gonna heal the healers? You know? So you gotta look to nature, the mother, the creator. You can say prayers. I know a lot of people, they think prayers associated with religion, so they be trying to not do it or whatever. But some things may resonate with you and other things may not. Just make sure you're not easily influenced, because when you're easily influenced, anybody can project on you. All of a sudden, you're not as spiritual as you used to be. All of a sudden, you don't pray no more because you feel like it's still time to religion. Like, whatever it is, you just got to do things for yourself, things that feels good to your mind, body, and soul. And you also have to shift your perspective when it comes to stuff. Some of y'all are expecting somebody to send evil eye towards you, or some of you guys should expect the unexpected, like people sending negative energy towards you. I know sometimes you probably think, well, why would this happen to me? I'm a good person. I don't do nothing to nobody. Haven't you always been like that? And for some reason, you always had people who didn't like you or whatever. Evil eye, it says a gaze or stare superstitiously believed to cause material harm. Ooh, that's crazy, because I never heard the evil eye meaning like this one. I remember I was in a Chinese buffet and somebody was just evil eyeing me, literally, like they were saying a gaze or a stare. Next thing you know, I just started throwing up. I don't know if it's because I ate too much of the food or what, but I kind of was telling myself, nah, that can't be it, because I was feeling good 2 minutes ago. See, material harm, it could be within Well, when you think of material, you think of materials like values, possessions, but maybe you can even look at it as physical wise, because that, for me, that was a little bit more physical matter. But let's see what expectation says. A strong belief that something will happen. So yeah, I feel like some of y'all have this strong belief that somebody will be able to cause material harm to you, or whatever the case may be. But once again, positive thinking will bring you a long way. Sometimes a lot of things are really all in your head. I remember I didn't have the best connection with somebody, and I thought the next time that we bumped into each other, it was going to be like an issue. But on their end, it was all smiles, which I was surprised. And I feel like that's because God also flows through people at the right time. Because y'all already be going through enough. Like, you don't constantly need people to bring BS into your life. So I feel like maybe God had flowed through that person at that point in time. And maybe they was also receiving karma, having to face themselves or whatever. So a lot of things probably soften up their heart because they're usually a nasty individual. But a lot of times y'all can just help yourself by knowing that these people were once kids and they didn't wish to grow up being the most hated person. They probably didn't even foresee their life as becoming a person who didn't take care of their kids in the best way, who become this way, become that way. You know, so sometimes just give yourself enlightenment by the things that you go through and the things that people put you through. You gotta look at it as there's some type of entity attached to their ass or something that they need to heal. And when I say entity, I don't mean like a natural, like a whole vessel or a spirit that's attacking somebody, but I just mean some unresolved issues and trauma that's causing them to act a way that they wouldn't have if they were more tapped in with their heart space, you know? See, that's my type of beliefs. I hear other people talking about all this other stuff. At some point in life, some things just don't resonate with me no more or at all. So I just make it fit in the way that fits for me, you know? That's what I mean by if you hear something, because a lot of people going to be around talking, projecting, influencing others. So just be mindful to just take things how it resonate for you. All right? Also, don't be so obsessed with work. Don't be so obsessed with work. Some of y'all probably into like rituals or divination. Or just hard work and labor. Don't be so obsessed with that, because that's not how you become successful. You're not successful because of how much money you have, all the jobs that you had within a year or 2 or 3. I'm telling you, it has a lot to do with who you are. So, because I'm telling you, if the whole world was beautiful inside and out, man, this world would be so amazing. People wouldn't want to leave, but you got people who ready to leave Earth. Hell. And for people who believe that they choose to come here, they probably be like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to come back here no more. You know, so just also don't ever feel like bad or upset because you're this kind person in this cruel world, because I promise you it's more people like you out here. You probably just haven't come across them yet. That don't mean that they don't exist. I feel like that's why we've been blessed with social media, because this is how another form of information can pass by. Next thing you know, you're seeing relationships that are actually working out, which a lot of times if you go through traumatic experiences where you didn't have relationships that worked out, you'll probably lose hope or just not believe in love anymore. But when you see these things happening across the world, some of y'all need to step out of your comfort zone. You need to travel. I remember I never thought that I would travel until like I was like up in age or something. I'm 23 right now, but I thought it was always 10 years later that I would travel. And I remember when I was able to buy my first car, child, hit the road, Jack. I must have got on that road, honey. And I went to several states, even though my car ended up breaking downhill. But I feel like that was only because I drove it when it was hot. I wasn't supposed to do that. I thought I could, but yeah, I couldn't do that. But I still ended up doing that. So I think I ended up making it worse than what it was. Now I'm trying to get it fixed. But anyways, that's beside the point. I got to go to Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee, and it was Memphis, and it was Nashville, Tennessee. In Louisiana, I believe I went to the most popular areas, like Baton Rouge and what's that other one? New Orleans. And I live in Texas, so I did travel around in Galveston and stuff like that, which was very beautiful. I don't recall Galveston being so beautiful like that when I went last time, when I was a kid. But man, it reminded me of like the Cat in the Hat stories. Like, it was so colorful and nice. Arkansas was also nice. It was colorful within its trees and stuff. And it had like high ground and hills, which I never knew I needed. I was like, oh yeah. I also went other places. I can't really think though. I was trying to go from Texas to New York because I just always wanted to go to New York. But I chose New York because I was already entering Louisiana, and I was like, well, I might as well just keep going this way. But at first it was out of California or New York. So I ended up going like towards the northern area. And I went into Indiana, Kentucky. Ooh, child, I couldn't wait to get out of Indiana, especially when my car had broke down. I had to sleep in my freaking car. It was cold as a mug. I was living in my car for like 3 months. It was by choice though, because I didn't want to be where I was. So when I had got me that car, I was like, oh yeah, I'm outie. I'm gone. But it was a cool experience. It taught me some things for sure. Like, I was really trying to rush and go to all those places in a lick of time. And I feel like I was divinely guided to just pause, because I also was taking somebody on the journey with me who really wasn't meant to come. It's like they took the vitality out of me all of a sudden. My hair, not as thick and long as it used to be. Child was just stressed. Now, it almost seems as if you're back in square one, but you're not for real. Because now you have wisdom. You may have been through trials and tribulations, etc., like we was talking about earlier, but what you did not have in the beginning was the wisdom from those experiences. So now you can say you went from inexperience to experience, and I feel like that's all about the journey overall as well. So no matter how your life is looking right now, know that everything is bigger, much, much bigger spiritually. I remember it was this one time where I was facing extreme anxiety, and I just seen this butterfly fly by me. I think it was black or something, I don't know. And it just really touched me, like touched my heart. And it made me feel like spiritually I was still being protected and guided and looked after. Because sometimes when you feel like you're in the world alone, sometimes you just, and then you lose faith here and there, whatever the case may be, you just start feeling like all these fears and anxieties and stuff. But that really helped me like experience like this mini awakening. And I was like, man, regardless of what people go through in their 3D plane lives and this earthly plane, is nothing compared to what's going on spiritually. Like, whole time you could be facing a midlife crisis on the earthly plane, but it will soon pass because a solution has already been found for it, you know. But I'll be ending this message soon because I don't want the message to be that long, honey. But you have people of high honor. You're a person of high honor. And I feel like if you haven't come into this community of people yet in the 3D plane, you will be soon in divine timing, right? In divine timing. And for those of you who already experienced the divine timing, you will be able to, you know, have a little bit more faith on it, because you like, oh yeah, I already experienced that before, so I know how it is. But yeah, whatever brings you happiness, you're being encouraged to dibble and dabble a lot more into that. You're also being encouraged to be positive, be a lot more positive. Release the anxiety and the fears and the restrictions, because it's not doing anything for you but holding you back, right? Or keeping you in alienation, right? You're a healer and God is on your side. The family that you were promised, the commitment of love that you were promised, that you've always dreamt of as a kid, you're going to receive it. It looks different for everybody. Somebody already in those relationships right now, right? For others, they're not. And it makes sense, because some of y'all just got out of relationships, or some of y'all still in ones that you need to leave out of. So it makes sense, all right? But what you don't want to do is be envious of the next person. Like, oh my gosh, when is going to be my turn? I hate it here, da-da-da. That's the point of doing like shadow work and all these other things that can help you have more compassion for yourself and for others. But it's your time. You're coming out as the single, successful, sexy individual who's the rising star, who's attracting a divine partner, a divine union, divine love. Somebody who's rich, whether it's rich in material things or rich in spirit, honey. Or whether it's all of the above. But stop expecting people to, stop expecting the worst in your life. I don't care what a situation is looking like. Stop expecting the worst. Positivity is going to take you a long way. And don't forget that faith is your abundance. Okay? Any last messages for the collective? Yeah. Queen of Pentacles energy. See, I feel like you more out of you getting out of this heart over head energy, and you're probably becoming more head over heart, but I feel like it's going to balance out soon once you start healing and shifting your perspective around. Then it's going to be you balancing out the divine feminine and masculine. Oop, there go that King of Swords coming out. Yeah, okay, confirmation. I feel like it's just you going from inexperienced to experienced. Inexperienced to expert. Look, Page of Swords, King of Swords. I honestly feel like that's what that is. So for a lot of you guys, you probably were naive. You probably were gullible. You probably had these little ideas that needed a little more thought put into it, or whatever it may be, right? You probably had thoughts that wasn't all the way developed just yet. Whatever it is, intellect in a mind that wasn't fully yet developed or used to its extent. But now I feel like you're in this space now. It's beautiful. You come a long way. I'm telling you, by the age of 35, you're going to be, woo, I'm telling you. Because you've always been an intellectual and a great spirit when you were a kid. So it's the journey, all right? This is not the end. So wherever you are right now, some of y'all, life may be looking great. For others of y'all, it may not be looking the best. But I promise you, you still got a long way to go. Don't just rule out, oh, this is the end, my life is horrible, the collective is a failure. Like, no, that's not it. I'm telling you. That's why I said positivity, no matter what's going on in your life, will bring you very, very far. All right? So faith, once again, is your abundance, okay? But yeah, y'all are upgrading, especially mentally, intellectually, thought-wise. Your thoughts are shifting. Your mental is expanding. You're very intelligent. And you're of divine energy. I'm telling you, there's nothing dark about you. Although you may have seen your darkness, right? Because, of course, going through certain things in life when you're this good person, and you go through things like physical and sexual and emotional and mental and spiritual abuse, etc., then of course anger and depression and all these things will be there, right? Especially if you didn't really know how to heal, or you didn't have a supportive like a support system or whatever the case may be, then of course you could see like darker sides of yourself. But that's why you go in and you love all parts of yourself, the parts that you tried to hide, the parts that you didn't want anyone to know about, that you didn't like, right? That's why I say doing shadow work is very beneficial, because sometimes you dive into things that is really deep in the subconscious, some things you're not as conscious of that you're doing, or in a way that you're operating. But when you have things like psychology breaking it down for you, it makes a lot more sense. Then when you start balancing it out with things that resonate with you, like for instance, if you're spiritual, you start balancing it out, it helps, it goes a long way, right? But the main thing that I would like for a person to do is to just always look within themselves. The answers are always within. God is within you and all around. Never seek outside validation. That's why I'm telling you, build that relationship with yourself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, etc. And you will see how you would never ever have needed a friend, a family, a lover. And that you'll appreciate being in your own energy, to the point to where you will probably be selfish, like, I don't want nobody in my space. I don't want to share my finance with nobody. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, I ain't talking about being this cruel, selfish person, like, F the homeless people. Like, no, not like that. But just not giving to those who don't deserve the versions of you, right? The blessings that come into your life, right? The people who already showed you that they only came into this life to make your life harder, honey. But once again, as I said before, don't beat yourself up about this, and don't beat these individuals up about this, because I promise you, no one wished to become the most hated person in the world. We were all once kids, innocent and pure. But we will never ever validate a person still being who they are today, because even a kid doesn't have to learn right from wrong. They instinctively know. So if you is grown as an adult and you still out here doing these low vibrational things to people, we got to call judgment. We can no longer try to feel bad for you and do all this stuff, because that's why people continue to be in these energies in the first place. Nobody's holding them accountable. So yeah, you can be all love and light and divine, but that don't mean that you're going to let people walk all over you. That don't mean you don't have a brain, the common sense God gave you. It just means that you're not evil, right? You have a heart. You're in tune with your heart. You're about justice. But it doesn't mean all this self-sacrificing that everybody be talking about, and like all this, putting all this weight of the world on your shoulders because you're other people's responsibilities. And no. People are their own. You're nobody's personal God, mother, healer. No. But yeah, expect good things to happen, okay? Co-create with the universe. When you're co-creating with the universe, everything is much easier. It's more simple, right? Sometimes the things you want is not what you need. So co-create with the universe. When you're getting called to cut somebody off, cut them off. When you're getting called to go into solitude and do the work and just fast from everything, go into abstinence, do it, period. I had gotten into abstinence. I was in abstinence for like 3 years. I don't have any regrets, right? But I do wish that I would have remained in abstinence, okay? The reason why I say I don't have any regrets is because the lessons are just as grand as blessings. You learn a lot. Thank you, honey. It was something else I was supposed to be saying, but I kind of forgot. So yeah, this is a time to nurture yourself. I feel like you're no longer over giving yourself to other people, overdoing a lot of things to other people. Okay? Yeah, because you know that it's only going to drain your energy, and you know that people don't mean well. You know that takers, they don't have a limit. They're going to take as much as they can. Right? You only know that this is self-sabotage. People who come into your life trying to defeat you, trying to win. That's not how you operate. You're not out here trying to defeat people and win. Especially in the lowest way possible. I ain't talking about the collective being competitive. I'm talking about literal people over here tearing you down in the world. Hoping that you probably take yourself out the world or start kissing their ass or something. Like, the God is who? The God who? I'm telling you. So don't be scared to stand up for yourself. That's just who you are. But the biggest strength or courageous thing that you can do is to still do something even when you're scared. And I feel like a lot of that's what strength is. Strength is not, oh, I don't have any fear. No, strength is when even when you do have fear, that you still continue to push forward with fear, anxiety, and all. Don't let nobody tell you different. But y'all are doing a great job. I don't care what happened in your life. I don't care if people calling you lazy. If you unemployed right now, I don't care what's going on. You're doing good. And better is to come. You're going to be so proud of yourself if you aren't already. You just got to, be disciplined, but also be gentle with yourself. When a person goes through so much in life, sometimes they can't just pick back up where they left off when they were younger and had all the energy before they went through the heartbreaks and all this. But it's the journey. So know that where you are right now is not where you will remain. There's always change. There's always evolution. Hi, honey. Sometimes it just took a pause, a surrender, so that you can come into a changed perspective. You're so insightful. Thank you. You're so insightful. Because, they say whatever you can see in another person is within you. But I appreciate you. Look, hermit. Some of y'all in hermit. Solitude. Going within. It's the best way. It's the best way. You already tried the other way. Outside influences, external influences, and beliefs. No. We done with beliefs now. We only going based off our knowing for now. Okay? The star. You're getting out of a period of time that was dark. Okay? Whether it was emotionally or literally, like you didn't know what you were getting yourself into, things were unknown, whatever it is. But now the star is here. This is optimism, rejuvenation. You're coming into a better time in your life, especially within your being. So I know that got to feel pretty nice. God is rewarding you. God is rewarding you. Some of y'all about to be crying tears of joy, honey. All right, any last messages? Oh, thank you. Darling, I'm a wise woman. The difference is I'm a 58-year-old woman and you're a young lady. I've not reached your wisdom. Aww. That's so nice to say. I feel you've reached it. I feel you've reached it, honey. It's just maybe you didn't, like, you know, it's like one of those, oh, I didn't think of it like that. You know? You've reached it. I appreciate you, though. You guys are ascending. This says third party 6. What is this? Oop, a love triangle. Oh, thank you so much. What is this love triangle? I feel like y'all overcoming a lot of things. Y'all ascending for sure. Thank you. Yes, there go bliss coming out again. Unbothered. Yes, honey. See, it's different things going on in your life, but I feel like you really unbothered here. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of these things could have affected you at some point in time of your life, and if y'all are not yet at a point where you're unbothered, then it's going to be happening. It all depends on who you are. Like, sometimes it could be 11 months from now, a week from now. It really all depends, right? But regardless, I'm seeing bliss. Unbothered. Abuse, though, right? Courthouse and blocked. So regardless, you could be experiencing different things, legal matters, abuse, but I feel like you're handling things better than you probably would have done before because of your experience. So I feel like a lot of things aren't getting to you as much as it would have when you were a kid, or as much as it would have 5 years ago, right? And I feel like that's because people no longer have access to really cause detriment to you. Because you can't be letting people get that power from you. Like, that's your power. And I guarantee you, countless amounts of people in the world are going to be trying to take that from you. So when you realize that people do that for fun, they try to defeat you for fun, then you'll put your foot down and be like, you know what? I'm no longer getting upset for people doing what they do. I'm no longer going to get sad for people doing what they do. Divorcing and leaving town. I have, yes. See, that's great. And I was just talking about how sometimes life can start going back to how it used to be for us. But it doesn't mean that you're back at square one, because what did you have before, or what do you have now that you didn't have before? You have the wisdom, the relationship with God, a deeper relationship. There's a lot more things that are different. So we got to give ourselves a pat on the back, okay? Yes, Empress. Yes, Empress. Now, it's okay if people still rub you the wrong way. It's okay. You know, that's what I mean by you got to be gentle with yourself. But that's why I'm saying give yourself enlightenment about these things. Like, when you give yourself something, like your mind something, it's like, come on now. Why would we really get mad about this? If this person is just bound to be like this forever, right? Not saying that they'll be like that forever, but I'm just saying just give yourself enlightenment. I think what helped me forgive people was that people really don't mean to hurt you. It's just, that's just what they're capable of. Like, you know, like how I was telling y'all, people don't, like, we all start off as kids, innocent, pure. Nobody thinks that people is going to grow up to be a rapist, right? Or a deadbeat dad, or an emotionally unavailable parent, or, you know, all these things. Now, I'm not validating it in today's time that, you know, it's still unacceptable, but it helps you to forgive people a lot more and to see things from a different light, instead of filled with, I cannot believe that a person could have this much hate in their heart or this much boom, boom, bam. It really helps a lot when you look at it from a certain perspective, you know, in a way that's actually going to help your mind, like, receive it. Because sometimes you can say something and it'll go in and out the other ear. So that's why I'm saying enlightenment. It's much more beneficial. Some people be trying to speak, people be trying to hit you up. You just unbothered. You will probably be able to talk to people who hurt you, right? You'll probably be able to walk past somebody who made your life a living hell back in high school or something. And you'll just be, huh. Like, it really all depends. These messages can be said in many ways, but I feel like it's giving new you for sure. It's giving new you for sure. I feel like you unlocked a new level of unbotheredness. You unlocked a new level of something within yourself, and that's what you just got to look at it as in the world. Like, you got to look at it like you're the main character. I know we know about Beyonce, we know about this, but you're the main character, right, in your life. Beyonce is the main character in hers, and in a lot of other people's life, right? But you are gods and goddesses, and all of you guys are amazing. Some of you all are less famous than others. It's not about famousness, though. Is famousness a word, honey? But it's not about that. I'm telling you, half of y'all are extremely much more decent, and by all means, use another word than decent, than a lot of people who are famous or who have these high positions, right? You have some police officers who should not be police officers. You have some people in these high positions who, I'm telling you. But that's what I mean, like, to not be envious and to also know that you're different for a reason and everybody else exists for a reason, you know? You're beautiful as well. You deserve to be seen as well. If you want to be famous, that's you, you know? But famous doesn't bring success. Having wealth doesn't bring success. You can be a homeless person and very wealthy within, right? I know when I had purposely chose to become houseless, in the beginning it was fun, for sure. Even though I had to live in my car, it was fine. But when my car started giving me problems and it started breaking, that's when things started becoming more spiritually aligned. Like, I had to learn major lessons, and it actually helped me become more humble, which I'm always a very humble individual. But it actually made me be okay to receive help and to have more compassion for other people. Because I don't know why I used to think people that was homeless was just always junkies or something. But it really, I just feel like a lot of things teach you a lot of stuff, especially when you go through things that are pretty tough on your mental or spirituality or whatever. A lot of things help you get back to what's really important, which is self. And for those who believe in God, then you know God. But I do wish you guys the best. It's a reflection of themselves and them. Just now learning about the different perspectives. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's freeing. Yeah. Yeah, honey. Some of y'all are starseeds. Earth angels, honey. But yeah, y'all about to receive some type of money, for sure. Maybe some of y'all, your story is different from mine. I already see something talking about love triangles or affairs and all this crazy stuff that I don't like to see. But just focus on you, okay? When you focusing on you, you're gonna let go of everybody who don't belong. You don't deserve to be in a connection with somebody who has roving eyes, temptations, lust. You don't deserve that. I already told y'all in the beginning. This video will be uploaded so you can see the beginning if you didn't. That you don't deserve to be with thieves or people with a mask and all this stuff. You deserve to be with literal divine beings who are also bosses like yourself. Hey, babe. But it will happen. I just gotta remind you that you have free will. So sometimes we do give ourselves karma. You want to know why you're still in that relationship? It has nothing to do with God. It has something to do because you're allowing people to overstay their welcome in your life. All right? I feel like, me personally, God is not going to tell you what to do, how to do it. But God is more of an encouraging, motivating, like, type of space rather than a restricting you from this and putting fear in your heart. I feel like God is supportive. You know, like, oh, you want to do that? All right, but let me just tell you, be cautious. You know, like, stuff like that. You want to date that person that's mentally unstable? Okay, that's you. But just be cautious. You know, like, stuff like that. I don't feel like they're going to say, oh, no, this ain't it. Because the thing is, lessons are also very beneficial to you. So if you have to bump your head, and it's also like helping you grow and evolve. So if you just have to go through something because you don't really see clearly, and you gotta be one of those people that actually gotta go through something to obtain the wisdom or whatever, God will guide the rest of the right. And I remember before how I was saying, you'll see how you don't really need the family and the friends and this and that. Now, I'm not saying it don't matter to have, because I feel like it actually is good to have community, you know. But it's also great to be at a space to where you can actually be alone and you won't become so desperate to settle for people to be in your life. If a person don't deserve you, don't let them back in your life. Okay? Sometimes maybe you're going to do that. All right? But that's what I'm saying. That's why it's very effective to do the shadow work and the inner child healing, because when you go tend to the parts that never was tended to, you're feeling that void with healing, though, not with substances, not with people, because all of that is just going to be temporary. You're permanently fixing yourself, right? And I don't mean to say fixing as if you're just this damaged, broken person, but the hindered aspects of you, right? Because in reality, if you're not healed, right, which looks different for a lot of people, you're not really going to be able to live in your authenticity. Say, for instance, if you have this fear of being seen, but you're meant to be seen, you're going to be alienating yourself, you know? Say if you have this codependent energy when you're not made to be codependent, you're going to be out here allowing people to overstay their welcome when you know that they're not for you. None of those things are living in your authenticity. So when you start healing, doing the work necessary, I'm telling you, you'll see. But yeah, just surround yourself with people who are like-minded, people who maybe even are a little bit more motivated or positive than you, because it can really help you go a long way. Because when you see other people making these moves and doing this and doing that, sometimes you just tend to look at yourself and be like, well, damn. You know, not in an envious or jealous way, or man, let me try to do something. Like, no, but just in a uplifting, inspirational way, you know? But yeah, y'all got this. Yes, honey. So yeah, I wish y'all the best. I'm seeing health concern and family. Maybe some of y'all have this health concern with your family. Maybe you feel like a family is not doing so well within health. Leave the worries, the fears, the anxiety, the restrictions. Please leave that in God's hands, honey. Okay? If it's somebody's time to go, it's somebody's time to go. So what you can do, since that's something that's inevitable, what you can do is help yourself prepare for when it does happen. Like training your mind to be okay with death. We never really was okay with death, right? It's always sad. But in reality, it's not supposed to be sad. We all gotta go one day, right? And I don't know about y'all, but when I leave, I do not want my kids to have the same experience that I had when my mom left, honey. Ooh, it was very detrimental. I was so sad and angry. I could just cry right now. But you just need to train your mind, right? Like I told y'all earlier, deprogramming to reprogram, because you can't try to shift things and change things. Well, you can to an extent, maybe, but it's more effective when you erase everything that you once learned and knew, because sometimes it can contradict with the new things that you're trying to bring forth in your life, right? So deprogram to reprogram, and remember that anything that's negative is false. Okay? Yeah. I'm leaving my home to a city I know no one, but solitude made a friend to myself. That's amazing. See, that's the best thing. See, the world, it's such a tradition. Like, family is such a tradition. When a lot of people, they actually start cutting off their family. You know, being in a world where you're not alone is so tradition. When, in matter of fact, it's 90% of the time you're going to be alone, right? Especially if you're doing the hard work, which is getting into a lot of people. They don't do that. They have to be around people. They don't see themselves going on a date by themselves at a restaurant, going to a movie by themselves. It's crazy when you think about it. They scared to do it, like whatever. So this is really a powerful thing. See, that's how y'all got to start looking at stuff. Like, it's powerful, and it's liberation, and it's actual, is really something huge. Like, little do you know, it's really, really huge. And sometimes I don't like involving other people, like saying, oh, other people wouldn't be able to do this or whatever, but just to help you guys see how beautiful something is, or how powerful it is, you know. So yeah, don't let the societal norms and expectations and traditions keep you from really doing with something that's liberating your soul and your spirit, and actually helping you grow as an individual. Being able to be by yourself in a whole nother area at that, and it's really not that bad as you think about it, because little do you know, sometimes your biggest supporters come from people who you really don't even know, who really not even your family for real. Yes. I'm glad to hear it, Empress. Yeah, I was supposed to been in the live, but for some reason I just feel like it's still more to say. But I don't want to keep you guys for long. Gonna let you guys go out and enjoy your day, get some sun, drink some water. I may come back on and do another read or something. But I feel like your experiences is just bringing you one step closer to where you want. Thank you. One step closer to the life that you were always meant to live, honey. And don't get me wrong, whatever already has happened, everything mattered. Everything mattered. It's not just about the finish line and when you get there. Everything matters, from when you was a kid all the way up to now, right? But I'm telling you, you're gonna see. It looks different for everybody. It looks different for everyone. But don't get discouraged. It's not a race. All right? And be gentle with yourself. At the end of the day, you're still a human being, right? Although don't forget the spiritual part. You're a spiritual being in a human body. Don't forget that part. But that's why I had said, be gentle with yourself, because you're a human being, because of the things that you already went through and what's normal to you, or whatever the case may be. You know, like how some people still may eat meats and certain things that it's really not doing any good for you. And I don't want to be so soft on you guys to where you just feel so, all right, let me go get some steak. But mainly in a way to where you don't beat yourself up about stuff, because we can be our worst critics for sure. All right. But count your blessings. Pay attention, like calculate your achievements as well. There's no such thing as a small win. All right. I don't like how I said I was in abstinence for 3 years and then all of a sudden I wasn't in abstinence anymore. Am I gonna beat myself up about it? No, because I ended up learning something when I wasn't in abstinence anymore as well. Which next time I get into abstinence, which I feel like I'm pretty much already started being in abstinence, because it's really, and I mean an abstinence from sexual relations, because it's really like, why do it? Why? I just don't see the point. And I also feel like the people that I like, the options, it's just not optioning. It's just like, you're not on my level. I said what I said. They're lustful demons. I don't want them. And I don't want them to be with me. Okay. So I am back in abstinence. The only reason why I didn't finalize it was because I was in this back and forth connection with this one person. So sometimes I would say, all right, abstinence on this day. The next thing you know, 3 days later, sexual relation. So that's why I kind of, I guess, got into this space where I was like not saying, okay, I started abstinence on this day. But I actually been in abstinence for some time now. I just don't know when, because I told myself that I wasn't going to chart it down that time in case I, not really go through with it 100%. But I actually been in abstinence for some time. And I know when I was in abstinence before for 3 years, it takes away the temptation or the lustful energy, like, which is just sexual desire. It takes that away. Like, you don't be really as, I don't want to say the H word. But anyways, when it came to other people, I'm just speak on my experience. I didn't really care to do nothing with them. Like, I remember before as a kid, I don't know if it was because I picked up on this from this person that I dated and that I ended up marrying. They had like this SCX addiction, and they kind of pressured me into having sexual relations with them. And I feel like it was okay because we were in a relationship, but of course I realized that it wasn't okay and that I had a choice regardless. But I don't know. That's what I mean by, it's just, lessons are just as grand as blessings. Sometimes you go through certain things and life looks different for a lot of people. Some things you don't expect to happen, but they're all shaping you into who you're meant to be, right? Who you were always meant to be. So that's why I say I don't really have any regrets or mistakes. At first I was like, yeah, I wish I would never mess with you. Yeah, I wish I would never die. But then the hard lessons that I needed to learn, I probably was going to have to bump my head and learn them some other way. Regardless, I probably was going to have to bump my head anyway. So I'm just glad that I bumped my head already and I don't have to do it again. But it was so, like, some things I just wish didn't happen, But I made peace with it. I made peace. And that's how I'm able to, speak on certain things and to talk to other people. Or when I have my own kids, to help them feel better about stuff. If they ever probably bump their head and give themselves karma. Which hopefully they won't have to do, because I'm going to make sure I tell them. Yeah, number one, what happened to me. Just because I don't think my mom ever told me a story, that was of those lines. I'm not necessarily going to strike fear in their heart, but just, like, letting them in on personal things that happen with me that I won't want to happen to them. So maybe it'll help, Because I think my way of, my parent was telling me to not, indulge in something was just stating it as, I don't know, it didn't really, I don't know. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that bumping your head is necessary, or it's also a blessing in disguise. So, this girl stay having boogies in her eyes, honey. But, I guess I'll go ahead and end the live, guys. Because I'll be sitting up here talking all day. I'm a yapper. Oh, thanks. I don't know how to respond to that when people say, such a cute dog, because I'm always saying thanks. Like I birthed her out of my vajayjay or something. But she appreciates that. I'm sure she appreciates that. Empress said you're cute, girl. She'll receive it. She may know what that means. She may know what I'm saying. I don't know. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for coming in. I do appreciate you all for the gifts and the likes. I for sure appreciate it. But I'm gonna go ahead and get up on out of here. My back's starting to hurt. But yeah, the reason why I think I also wasn't in the message was because I was trying. Usually I'm such a perfectionist. I be trying to summarize everything and then throw in these other things, but it never goes to plan. So at this point, I'm just in live. It never goes to plan. The dog's eyes show love. I have two fur. Oh, you have two fur babies. And to think I was gonna give my little baby up, I was like, maybe I'm supposed to give her up. But nah. I really couldn't bring myself to do it. At all. Even when I was, like, living in my car, I just was like, nah, I'm going to keep her. Because I never got a chance to see my dogs grow up, like, big. Like, maybe they would run away, or maybe my parent would give it away, or maybe it'll die. So she's actually my first dog that I had for this long. She just turned 3 in human years, of course. May 1st. She's a Taurus, gang. You a Taurus, girl. There she go, like a Taurus. Being greedy. But they have a knowing for sure. Yeah, she's such a sweet dog. And I feel like sometimes I be mean to her. Or like I was mean to her. I felt so bad. 'Cause she don't be doing nothing to nobody. But she still would have these little cute eyes towards you. Look, not her bringing me this toy. So, I guess I'm going to go ahead and eat, you guys. And play with her. She's giving me her toy. You going to give me the toy, girl? She letting me know she want to play. Go get it. But alright, you guys. She gives you they sense well. Yeah. Well, alrighty, you guys. I'm gonna get up out of here. But yeah, this video will be uploaded to my YouTube. And if you want to see the flip through of these cards, I don't know if you guys are into like tarot or oracles. I posted the flip through on YouTube for both the tarot deck and the oracle deck. I'm glad that I helped. Okay, you guys helped me as well. I appreciate you all. You're so welcome, honey. But I will see you guys later. Let me know if you have any questions. If you don't, then feel free to leave, honey. I ain't talking about nothing. Just concluding. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your lifetime. And I don't do the whole energy exchange, but I'm still gonna say I return the collective's energy back to them, and I release my energy back to me. Okay, shout out to Empress and shout out to That's All, folks. That's funny. And everyone else who contributed to the live. You know, I appreciate you all. And I will see you guys later. Take care. I still kind of don't feel like I said everything I wanted to say, honey, but we just gonna leave it there, okay? I'm sure that I helped in some type of way, which is all that I ever be wanting to do. So I'll see you guys another time. Take